or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
Hey, welcome back to another Doggin It live show. I'm here with Melina Mike. How's it going, Melina?
It's going good. Before we start, I'm not trying to put you on tilt, although I'm pretty good at it. But your video is a little
Is it
foggy,
really? Is it
a
bad?
little bit. I mean,
Let me
anything's an improvement on that face. Let me tell you. Let's start
hold
with
on.
that. But
Wait 1 second. I'll jump out and come back in.
oh, great, he's already gonna leave me here. Well, welcome back to an evening edition of Dogging It. It's Thursday. There's a lot going on in the world. Playoffs are happening in all sports, hockey, basketball, you name it. But we got a great live show for you guys. Let's see if Joey's face looks any better. Nah, still
No. All right, I'm
the
gonna refresh. I'm
the
going
face. No, no, no,
completely
no,
out.
no, no, no. The quality of the picture looks good. Your face is still a little.
Oh,
It's a
that's
little.
messed up, bro.
It's still a little
I can't
suspect.
believe you. Let
How
us know
many?
if you can hear us and see us okay, guys. We want to make sure that this is good. We got a fun little episode for you. I'm pretty excited
Indeed,
about it.
indeed.
We've had it cooking all week. And, Mike, you know what my favorite thing to talk about is, right, Melina?
I I don't, but I would love for you to tell me what's your favorite thing to talk about.
It's the Super Billiards Expo, right? And we're just coming off another Super Billiards Expo. It was a great event. A lot of stuff. We just had Jonas on the show last week. He ends up winning the pro event. Uh, and so one of the things that I know we want to do a better job of is talking to amateur players, talking to those players that, come in and achieve a great feat. And, I don't know that there's any greater feat on the amateur level than winning the Amateur Open at the Super Billiards Expo. And so we're fortunate enough that today we have with us the champion. And Mike, you need to fix a graphic, but we have the champion from the Open Amateur at the Super Billiards Expo. Derek Schwager is here with us. So let's bring Derek in. How's it going, Derek? Can you hear us okay?
Yep, can hear you good. I'm doing good.
That's awesome, man. Hey, have you spent all the money yet? That's what we want to know.
No, not yet. Nope.
Let's start with that because how much was the take home? How many players did you have to fade in order to get the W?
There was 931 players this year,
Holy shit!
so I had to win 10 matches.
Wow.
900 players. Wow. What was the buy-in?
It was $120.
Oh, it's going up. It used to be 75 for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, it used to be 75, and now it's one. This is the first year it's been 120.
120.
I
So Derek, when you've gone, I talked to you a little bit before the show. You've gone pretty deep in this event a few times. You're kind of like a hometown guy, right? You're right there near the event in Pennsylvania. So leading up to this, was this something that this year everything just kind of felt right as you were preparing for the event? Or, sometimes we talk to people and they're like, no, actually, I didn't even get a chance to prepare and I just snapped it off. Tell us about the lead up.
That's basically what happened. Was actually the wife and I we went to Nashville. We left Friday before the expo and came home Tuesday morning. And I didn't hit a ball for like 2 weeks prior to the expo, and
You sound like a pool player already, Derek.
yeah, and, yeah. I went there and played in the tournament, and just everything clicked. I don't know, it was just weird.
Did you play the warm up event?
I did, and I won the warm up event also.
Jeez, that was it. How about the money tables? Did you play the money tables?
I didn't play on any. Most of the time I just like to focus on the tournament. If I get knocked out of the tournament, then I'll go and play some of the money tables. But this year it didn't fall that way.
So let's talk about the tournament. Every tournament is unique, right? And I'm sure you've won a bunch of tournaments in your life, but there seems to be, in almost every tournament I won, there's that one moment, that one match that might be even early in the tournament where, let's say that maybe you're struggling a little bit or you get a little fortunate and get by. Did you have one of those types of matches kind of early on?
I would say the start was the first round. The first round I played a strong player from Connecticut, Ryan Liam. He was a 694 Fargo, and just everything went my way. Like couple mistakes he made, but everything went my way. And then from there on out, everything just kind of just fell together and it just clicked. And then the semifinal match, I played Shane Jackson from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he actually gave me my first set loss of the whole tournament there. So
Wow.
I lost my first set there. I lost 5-1, and then I came back, and I won 5-3, 5-1 to win that match. But yeah, I would say, but all the other matches, I think were just yeah. I just think I thought I had it the whole time. Everything was breaking well. That tournament, for sure. If you ain't breaking well, you're not going to win the tournament. So everything just clicked. I don't.
Yeah.
What did you take home for first place, by the way? What was the payout?
It was still $5,000 for first place.
And that big shiny cup right there, Melina.
Yes, and the trophy.
So what do you want? What did you want more, the trophy or the cash?
I wanted the trophy more.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I friended you on Facebook right after this. We have like 400 common friends, and somehow we weren't friends already. And I shot you a message, and one of the cool things about when I shot you that message, you accepted my request, you answered the message, but I remember asking you, hey, you're gonna have time. We'd like to interview you. Can you come on the show? And you're like, well, I'm behind at work right now. It'll have to be later in the week. And I love that. Right? Because you're a working guy, right? Tell people what you do.
I'm an electrician. So yeah, I won the expo we got done around 6:00 at night, and I was at work at 5:30 the next morning.
Wow.
No kidding.
Yep. So I didn't even take the following day off. I just went right to work. So
playing at that level, the thought has had to cross your mind that, hey, maybe I should try to, with what Matchroom's doing and some of the stuff that's out there, some of these big events and Mosconi Cup, the thought had to cross your mind. Like, you obviously have a lot of talent. Have you ever considered maybe trying to step up and play in some of these professional events?
Well, before, no. Before, no. Now, but I see that Emily Frazier is going to start doing qualifiers to go play in like the UK Open and the US Open and stuff like that. I might take a shot at trying to win a qualifier to one of them and see what happens. But I like being an electrician. It's fun.
How old are you, Derek?
I'm 34.
Nice, man.
That's awesome. I don't like that you have a job, Derek, because I thought I was one of the best players in the country that had a job. But then, of course, I found out about you and Jeremy Seaman, and I'm sure you know Matt Clatterbuck from Virginia. Yep. He's a great player. A lot of good players. What's it like trying to manage playing good pool and working full time?
It's tough, especially like in the electrical field. Summer times get really busy. I know pool slows down, but if I get lucky, I might play an hour or two a week if I get lucky. But so like even if I have the table downstairs, I barely play on it. So, but it's tough.
How long have you been going to the Expo out there in Philadelphia?
Since I was 11 years old, playing in the junior. So
holy cow!
Yeah, so 22 years.
Yeah, let us tell the folks about some of your other finishes there, because this isn't the first time you went deep in the event, right?
No, yeah, I have a bunch of top 16s. I have last year I finished 5th through 8th. That was my best finish ever up to this year. Another local person that last year that knocked me out was Pat McNally.
Oh yeah, great player.
Yeah, so he actually was allowed back in it after 20 years. He gets back in it and he gets second place. So he lost to Chris Bruner last year. So yeah, he's the one that knocked me out last year. So in 2007, I think, let me look at my wall. 2007 or 2017, Alan held a one pocket tournament there. I finished second to Darren Appleton in that. It was their second year of the professional one pocket tournament they had. So I finished second in that one in 2017 or 2018, one of those years.
Was this event like a Fargo Cap, the one you played in, or?
like within the last week or two, they were trying to wean out people who weren't really amateur pool players or didn't play amateur level. So um, the week leading up to it, I'm sure people saw a lot of controversy where they were looking at Fargo players from 680 to 720 and seeing how well they played within the last year, whether they were going to give them the boot or not, whether they could play in it. Now they did not let I think Cece from Virginia, because she runs the tournament now. I think there was right around like 8 players that they did not allow play because of
I thought I
past
saw Pookie was on that list.
Pookie.
Yeah.
Pookie was
Yeah.
on. Yep, him. Brett Stottlemyre was on the list. I'm not
It's
sure other players. There was a couple players from Puerto Rico that were coming that nobody knew, so that I think she kind of had to do some research and she had to not let them play because of past tournaments. Like the one year they allowed Julio Burgos to play in it, and he was traveling to every professional tournament, playing and beating all these guys. So they had to like try to wean out some players that weren't really amateur pool players.
That's the tough part, right? Every year that I played in it for 15 or 20 years, you'd always have somebody sneak into the event. The
Yep.
year that I finished 5th through 8th, which by the way was my best finish, and sorry, Melina, I had to bring it up. I lost to Bill McCullum from Pittsburgh, I think, or Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, somewhere in there. But he then lost to Larry Price, who ended up winning it. And most people know the name Larry Price, great player from West Virginia, pro caliber player, had got into it that year. This year, you mentioned Brett Stottlemyre, Pookie, some players like that. Shane Jackson, before he played you, I think he played Ryan McCreesh. And Ryan McCreesh at one time, him and Pookie were like right at the same level, and they, were about the same type of player. Chris Bruner now, he's
Joey's
an
just putting
amateur.
everybody's business out there. Everybody's
No, it's the
business is
truth.
being put out
But
there by Joey.
Chris Bruner is an amateur player, but he's probably a 6 or a 715 Fargo. He won the event last year. He's winning the APA singles or right there at the end. So, I mean, you're talking about the highest caliber amateur players that are getting in this event. So it's tough. It's tough to figure out who belongs and who doesn't belong. Do you think they did a pretty good job this year, Derek?
I think they did. To me, my honest opinion, I think if you hold a job, let them play. I don't know, because you're still an amateur. It's not your profession. Now, if you played pool 40 hours a week, then I think you shouldn't be allowed to play. That's just my honest take on it. Over the years, I wouldn't have mind if Brett played. I've played Brett before. I've beaten Brett before. It's like I said, that tournament's a crapshoot. It's races to 5, best 2 out of 3 sets. Anybody can win. It's on bar tables. So now, like, obviously, don't let like Shane Van Bonen or Jason Shaw or those play in it. But I say if you're 720 and under, let them play. That's just the way I feel. What
were you hoping to accomplish leading into the event, Derek? Like, what was your I want to get 5th through 8. I want to get top 16. I mean, you got to fade.
Son.
You got to fade 1,000 players. Oh, but I mean, some people, even when I talk to top pros, they're realistic is like, hey, I want to get to the single elimination stage or whatever.
In the beginning of the tournament, cash-in's always good because the first round of the money is $800. So you just basically 7 times your money at the first part of the cash-in point. And then I got down to the final 16. And then I won my first match. The biggest thing is making it to Sunday. Everybody wants to make it to Sunday. So when they bring back the final 16 on Sunday, and then I won my first 2 matches on Sunday, and then that's when I realized I think I can win this now. I think this is like my year to win it. So that's kind of how I was looking at it.
So leading up to this event and, kind of as there's a lot of people who like to attend the event, especially on the East Coast, but I've seen lately more people coming from different parts of the country. I played a guy from Florida there one time. We had a guy from Arizona travel out there to play. What advice would you give people to kind of try to win such a massive event like this with so many players that over the course, I think it starts Thursday, does it? Or Thursday evening?
Yeah, Thursday morning it starts now at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so I mean, somebody's traveling out there to play in this event. What do you think is the key factor to being able to, over the course of 4 days, play really good pool?
Live 20 minutes away.
Sleep in your own bed.
Yeah, that is a bonus that I have. I would say like the rest, because like you said, it is a long tournament. Now everything is time slotted, so you do know when you're going to play and when you're not going to play. But yeah, the main thing is like getting your rest and stuff. There's 2 nights that I was home before midnight when all the gambling action was starting. I was going home. And actually Saturday night, my cousin was actually getting married 10 minutes from the expo, so I played my match and I left and went to the wedding. So
Okay.
I left the expo by 6 o'clock p.m. I went to the wedding and I was home by 9:30, going to bed for Sunday morning. So yeah, I would say mainly rest is like the big one.
Yeah. So who was your opponent in the finals?
It was Rob Pierce from Connecticut.
Okay. I don't know much about him. How did he play? What was the match like? Take us through the match.
It looks like he played well. There's a couple shots that he missed that I didn't think he would miss. He actually beat me the last time we played at the Expo. But yeah, he plays very well. His team, not this past year, but 2 years prior, they won the APA Masters out in Vegas. Their team won it back to back. So it's like him, Dave Garnish, and Phil Davis, Super Billiards Expo.
Yeah.
Probably right before COVID happened. I think this year he won it, like 2009 year he won. But yeah, he's a strong player from Connecticut.
So, given the fact that you live so close, did you have quite a few fans? Like, tell us what the environment was like when you got down deep in the tournament. Did you have like a little posse there rooting for you and your family, friends?
Yeah, the finals, I had probably the larger end of the crowd because everybody knew I was in the finals. So some people like local pool leagues, like just little bar leagues that we play in, a lot of them came out. My dad, my stepmom was there. They actually watched almost every match besides like when my dad was playing. They were there the whole time. My wife was there. She didn't come down right away because she didn't want to jinx me. So once she knew I was in the final four, she drove down and surprised me there.
That's
and
awesome.
watched the rest of the tournament. So
What was it like having that support from everyone?
it's actually great. I appreciate it a lot. Even though I was trying to focus, I wasn't paying too much attention during the match to them. But it was great to know that they were there, supporting me, and they know how hard when I was younger, how hard I worked playing pool to try to get good. Yeah, and like I said, my dad taught me everything I know. So it's good that I made him. He says I made him proud winning this tournament. So
yeah, I was going to ask you, what was that moment like? Once you got the cup and you walked over to talk to your dad. Take us through that moment.
Yeah, he was. He was more excited at that moment. It still didn't hit me yet until like the next day, when I came home from work and I saw the trophy was sitting there. So it's like, yeah, I think he had more of a grasp on it that I actually won the Expo tournament. That was one of the first tournaments he ever brought me to. So it was awesome.
How'd you celebrate that night? Where'd you go eat dinner?
We actually went to Olive Garden right down the road.
I love it.
Nice.
That was the only place that was really open on a Sunday. So we just swung by Olive Garden and then went home. And then, like I said, I went right to bed because it was work the next morning. So
A funny story about Olive Garden. My mom, she's from Baltimore. She talks like she's from Baltimore, And so one day I was living in Washington, D.C., and I took her out to this amazing Italian restaurant in Washington, D.C. And we're there and eating, and she gets a salad and she asks for ranch dressing. Well, it's an Italian restaurant. They're like, yeah, we have Italian, we have this, we have that, olive oil, whatever. And she's like, no, ranch dressing. And so at the end of the meal, I was like, Mom, how'd you like this restaurant? And she's like, it ain't no Olive Garden. That's for sure. So, oh man. Hey, one thing I think about with that event, you said your dad took you there. It was like the first big event. I can relate to this on so many levels. I remember the first time I went with my dad to the Super Billiards Expo. Bought, a Predator 314, original shaft. And it was just the whole experience around it, getting to meet the different professional players. I played in the when they used to have the Pro-Am. I was on Johnny Archer's team one time. And just the whole experience of being there, being around the expo. I mean, do you have like those types of fond memories from all the years? And, tell people who haven't been there kind of what that experience is like.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a different type of tournament to see. I wouldn't say it's like the Derby, but it's totally different, like as in like different aspects of it. It is a great tournament to go to. There's so many different things now, like you were saying about they had the charity thing when I was young. Well, I was really young back then. But
call me old without calling me old, Derek. Okay.
Right. So yeah, have like so many more events now. Like they have a seniors event now. They have a super seniors event. They actually this year, the first year, they had a seniors pro tournament. That Mika won.
Robbie joined.
There's a women's tournament now. There's actually a Pro-Am tournament. Then they have the Tap League is there now. They have their big Rally in the Valley tournament. It's definitely like all the vendors in the booths, like all the people you can meet. I met a lot of my friends at the Super Billiards Expo to this day that I only get to see once a year. So it's kind of like that one weekend I go every year because who knows when I'll see them again. So you definitely meet a lot of people from all over the country, all over the world. It's awesome.
So in terms of where you go from here, we talked a little about you might try some of the qualifier events to get in some of the larger events. Do you have anything at all on your calendar in terms of playing pool? Are there other, big events that you're looking at going to, or are you just going to kind of keep going the way you're going and snap off the Super Billiards Expo in 2024?
In November, I got the U.S. Amateurs down in Florida.
Oh, nice.
That I qualified for. So I'm going to take a stab at that and see if I can win that. Last year I got 5th, 6th. I lost to the guy that won the tournament.
Who's that?
Jacob Watson.
Okay.
From Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Yep. He ended up winning it. I lost Hill to him on Sunday. But
Redhead.
Yep.
Yeah,
he played very well, and then he beat Ernesto. Was it Boya or
something like that? Ayawa.
Yeah. So he beat him in the finals. So he played very well. I'm going to try to take a stab at it again this year. So if I win that, then maybe I'll try some more pro. So,
do you play leagues, Derek?
I play APA Masters. That's all I play. And then I play like a little bar league where it's just a group of guys and you just play like 8-ball and it's just a night out drinking type of deal. So
that's where I first started playing pool. It was a pool league just like that. I told Melina about it before. It was the Baltimore Carroll County Pool League in Maryland, and it was a travel league. So every week you'd go to a different bar, and you'd have different size cue balls, different conditions. Some of the bars were rowdy, some of them were country, some of them were, all kinds of different metal, music playing. And it was like you had to adjust to those conditions. I felt like that made me a better player when I was younger because, you go to draw your rock and it's a super super heavy mud ball, and the next place you go, you're playing with a light, like red circle ball. I don't know. Is that the way your league is?
Yeah, that's how ours is, and it's we have like 8 guys on the team, but then you play partners with the guy in the same game, so it's not like it's singles. So like
Oh,
you don't alternate every shot, but you alternate every turn type of
okay.
deal. So it's just a night out, just to hang out with the guys and just play pool and have a couple drinks and stuff like that. It's nothing serious to it, but it's just fun.
I like it.
That's awesome, Derek. Well, hey, look, man, we appreciate you taking the time to catch up with us. I wanted to talk to you because I know how hard that tournament is to win. I don't know if I told you this, but one year I finished 5th through 8th. But that tournament is super hard to win. And I mean, it's a test of endurance. It's a test of, really your mental game, right? To stick with it. Like you said, the format is, it's kind of flipping coins sometimes. You have to be on top of things or you can get knocked out and lose a match pretty easily. By the way, is the 9 count on the break there?
It does if you rack for each other, but now they're slowly starting to do rack your own, so then the 9 doesn't count at all. So,
Do you know Donnie Perryman from Pennsylvania?
I do.
Okay. One year, when next time you see Donnie, talk to him about the match we played, because one year up there, he in 3 sets, he broke and made the 9 on me 11 times.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. It was the craziest thing. And it's because I didn't know how to rack yet. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just rolling the balls up and leaving a gap behind the 9. And he broke it in on me 11 times. I felt like I played great. I made it 3 sets and he broke it in 11 times. But he did break it in on the hill to beat me. And I didn't even watch it. Stop laughing, Melina. I didn't even watch it. I looked over at my family, right? I looked over at my family. And after I heard the crack of the balls, I saw my brother and my brother went, oh. And that was the last one to beat me. But hey, man, we've really enjoyed this, Derek. And, I'm going to be following you, man. I hope that you get out and play in more events because it's obvious that you got a lot of talent. Is there anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to?
I like to thank, first my wife. She always sticks by
Smart
my
man.
everything. I actually won the tournament on our anniversary. Our Sunday was our first anniversary, so I actually won the tournament on our. So that was also came down and supported me. For that. So I definitely thank her a lot. JD Custom Cues from the Philippines. He's been making me sticks for the last 10 years. They hit great. And also Tony from Hustlin'. He supported me since I've been like 14. So I like to thank all them guys. And then, like I said, all my friends and family that came down and supported me that weekend. So I appreciate it all.
That's awesome.
Awesome, man.
Congratulations, Derek.
Yeah. Great win, buddy. Great win. Awesome. We'll catch up with you soon, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Hey, Melina, take that
That was
off.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, man.
Well, like I said, it's just such a big event, man, and I just wanted to talk to him because I think one area where we could do better.
How much were you talking his ear off before I came on, before we went live, telling him about your Super Billiards Expo? I mean,
a little bit.
Yeah, journey, I should say.
A little bit. No, but I think seriously, if you reflect on you and I working together the past couple years and doing these shows, I think one area where we could do more is we could promote amateur players like Derek.
Couldn't agree more.
That play great, right? And if you're outside of the Mid-Atlantic, you might not know Derek, and Derek Schwager is a great player. And like I said, we had 400 common friends on Facebook. And when I asked him before the show, like, how do we not know each other? And he said, I remember seeing your name right as I was starting to play. And then I remember seeing his name right after I moved out of the area, And so he was just one of those players,
he might have been lying to you, Joe.
Maybe. Oh man,
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's right. Way back when. It reminds me like when someone says hi and they know my name, and I'm like, "Hey, man, what's going on?"
Well, I could tell. I could just tell in the lead up to this, as I was talking to him, a very humble guy, and he's like, never done an interview before, kind of thing. And I'm like, that's exactly why I want to have you on. There's so many people out there that deserve more recognition in pool. And Derek seems like one of the good guys,
we're happy to do it, man. And it's just more about branching out and exploring more, avenues within the industry. And it's a big win for him, and big event. So that's exciting. So we're super happy for him, and I'm sure he loved reminiscing with you, as we all do, Joe. We all look forward to it.
Well, we got back on the schneid this week with doing our questions of the day on Patreon. So if you guys are interested in that, we would love for you to head on over to patreon.com/doggin and check us out on there. We put out videos on the regular. Used to be every day, but Melina started slacking. But on the regular, what did we talk about yesterday, Melina? You remember?
No idea. No clue.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Majority of the time, though, it's stuff that I want to have on here, but Joey forces me just to keep it in the private
Not to
Patreon.
keep it over there exclusively.
But we have it's a little bit more not as filtered.
Yeah, Melina curses a lot. It's great. You'll love it.
Yeah. I heard Joey's feelings every now and then.
Oh, it was the random thoughts on gambling and whiners. By the way, did you make money yesterday? What happened? Oh, no, just so people know.
No, I didn't. No. That's why you head over to Patreon to find out all the insight.
Yeah, so Melina was matching up with some sucker. Yeah, it had to be a sucker because Melina beat him the last time, and they were playing for money. And and so we were talking about that, and he said there's a lot to fade. The guy kind of runs his mouth a little bit when things go wrong at the table, and I'm like,
let's just hope he doesn't watch the show now. So thanks for that.
Yeah, that's your action.
Appreciate that, Joe. Yeah, thank you.
And then the day before, we had a nice little debate on shall you tip your tournament director or not. So, head on over to Patreon. Let's put up the graphic here, the caption. You can head on over to patreon.com/doggin and we'd love for you to support us on there. And if you do, you'll get that bonus content. I think you'll really find it interesting. So
we try to have a good time with it, and there's more things that we're exploring doing on there and in the Facebook group as well, alongside Patreon. So we got some stuff in the works, and we're going to get back refocused and re-engage, and we're excited about it. We try to do it all, man, as much as we can anyway. So.
Yeah. Hey, Melina, coming up this weekend, pretty big event in Virginia. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I'll be in Maryland starting tomorrow. It's the Bob Stocks Memorial. It is now a Matchroom Points event run by a fellow by the name of Chris Wilburn. And it's at First Break Cafe in Sterling, Virginia. They only have 8 tables, and they have a really robust player list that's heading to this event. I mean, I saw big names on there. I just saw Oscar Dominguez is on his way there. Tyler Steyer's there. Fedor Gorst. There's going to be a lot of good players there, a lot of good pool being played in Sterling, Virginia. What are your thoughts on that event, Mike? Guys
chasing points, and I'd imagine it's going to be some long days given the amount of tables, especially early on. It looks like, the place is quality for sure, but it's going to be a good time.
I think it's streaming with Upstate Owl, I think.
I think they're doing another pay-per-view, which, some of these pay-per-views are rough.
Go ahead. Say what you really think.
No, I'm not going to spend $29.99 to see, Rodney Moore's versus Joey Ryan. I'm not going to watch it. So, but this event,
me anyway. It would be worth watching.
But this particular event, it's going to be pretty deep, as you said, when it comes to the player field. So that part's going to be great. I thought I heard there was going to be some side tables that were going to be streaming outside of Upstate Owls that may be for free. I don't know. I can't say one way or another with 100% certainty, but it's something that we'll be following.
Maybe I should have found this out before, but I'll ask you about it because, our buddy Isaac at Digital Pool, I know he's working with Upstate Owl and they're doing some things with multi-table streaming and different. Is this one of those, Mike? Do you know?
I don't know. If I remember right, the guy who I reached out to, I think is running the tournament. He had mentioned that he was going to be doing some side tables. I can't remember 100%, but I believe that's what he had told me. So, I'll be looking forward to that. This coverage, we've seen this event out in Spain have really good coverage on YouTube and on Matchroom's page over the last couple of days. And, that's about as thick when it comes to quality as you can get. On this side, having it through a paywall is a little bit rougher, and some of the things can just be a little hard to watch, to be honest with you. But to each their
You getting
own.
cheap on it?
No, it's not that. But I mean, some of these events that I've seen through a paywall, it's just the player field's not there, or even
But
if it's
that's not the
there,
case
then
this weekend. It's a strong field.
no. But at the same time, like if it's for sure, I'm only going to be doing one table. Why would I don't want to. I just
You're
I've
getting all
seen
bougie with your streaming.
no, I've seen that production before, man. I'm sorry, I have. Look at the Derby. That's just and I'm not trying to be sour or negative about things, but that's just the way that I've seen come through quite a bit, and it's unfortunate. If it was more, and plus for some of these like weekend events, I feel like it can be maybe a little more affordable for everyone to be able to watch, especially when you want to see guys really chase points and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I'll be watching either way.
Oh no, I've been saying our Patreon wrong all this time, Mike. We could probably have 1,000 more Patreons. It's patreon.com/dogging it / Sorry, Nate. Thanks for pointing that out.
So you just been costing me money, Red.
Been dogging it. Been dogging it.
No, but no, we'll have a lot of. If you're going to be out there, I'm sure we'll get some good content from there. If not, I'm sure we'll make a good way out of it, regardless. So we'll be covering one way or the other. And there's an event out in Spain going on right now. Alexa, I think, is playing. I'm not sure who he ended up playing in the final. I know Sanjin beat FSR in the semifinals or in the quarterfinals. Let me see if that's updated. Yeah, it looks like Wojciech and Alexa from Croatia, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be a really good final tomorrow, which that's another
So
match
that
from
one
weekend
was
as well.
that was an event that went down to the final 64, and then they went single elimination from there, because I saw Oscar Dominguez's post, and that's when he lost. So he picked a bad time to have a bad match, right? And it's kind of really leaves a sour taste in your mouth, right? So you can play the double elimination stages, play perfect, and then you make it to the final 64, and your first match you kind of throw in a clinker, then you're flying back across the Atlantic. I wonder how the format's going to be for the Bob Stocks. I know in the past it was more like a true double elimination. Have you heard anything about that, Mike?
No, I haven't. I'd imagine it being more traditional, but I'm not sure if one of those requisites from Matchroom, if you're going to have a ranking event, is that at some point it goes down to single elimination. I actually do prefer the single elimination. I don't like it being that far out. If you were going to give me final 32, final 16, something like that, I can definitely get on board with that. Give guys more time to really get comfortable and acclimated out there and adjusted.
Yeah.
But I also understand they got schedules to keep, and I'm sure they toss around all these ideas beforehand. But just something where it's rough. You win 2 matches, you're good, and then all of a sudden you're not good anymore. So yeah.
Hey, did you follow anything? We probably should have talked about this before I start asking you questions you don't know the answer to, but did you follow anything with the Four Bears tournament?
No, I think I'd seen online Corey might have won, or
Yeah, I think so.
Shane,
But
that's for
who
sure.
got super deep in that thing is the young guy, Tyrell Blowers from
out of
Wyoming.
yeah, he travels around with Cash, right?
Yeah, I think he was in the final 4 there. Might have got 3rd or 4th or something, but he was right there towards the end. And I tell you, you're going to hear big things out of that kid soon.
Yeah, every time I travel somewhere, I see him and Cash, and they're just waiting around for a table to go practice on. So
They
their
just love
dedication
playing.
is, yeah. To be young and travel, it's great, man. So congratulations to them for that. It's kind of funny seeing Shane and Corey out there playing, 8-ball on the bar table,
Yeah.
So, but it's a break and run fest, and there can actually be some pretty. I remember, I don't know if it was one of the Four Bears, but it was definitely a 8-ball match between Corey and Shane on a valley, and they flip the coin. Corey wins. Corey goes to rack the balls, and it might have been like a race to 6 or something. Like it wasn't the longest of races in the world, right? Corey goes to rack the balls, and you can kind of see Shane just already annoyed, right? Corey racks the balls. He breaks. Ball gets down. I think Shane recognized what Corey was doing, and then Shane just immediately broke down and said, "I'm done. I'm out."
Really?
That was their match. Yeah. So like literally, he broke once, balls went down, and Shane said, "I'm
I'm all for professionals playing more 8-ball on the bar table, only because
I love bar table 8-ball with pros.
Oh my gosh, it's such a great game. So much creativity, so much like there's definite like a good example out here in Arizona, Nick DeLeon, great player, great rotation player. I don't like it playing him rotation, but playing 8-ball, I feel like I can leverage some experience and creativity, and I got a chance to get there. You know what I mean? So there's certain things about that game, certain things about 8-ball and your pattern play and what you choose to play and how you choose to play it, and just situations that you've been in over the years if you're a good 8-ball player and played it over and over that come up that can give just a little bit of difference, not seeing the same types of runouts all the time, which I
I
think is
love
good for me.
I love the creativity. Like that league that Derek was talking about. The drinking league. That's what everybody grew up playing. If you played league pool,
Yeah.
in your small town was just like that. So I think we can all relate to some extent. Um, you know, I love bar table A ball on any level. It's a very fun game to watch and to play and to see guys play great. And it was funny. I think it was so Rick Glasscock will message me quite a bit, and I love it. And I appreciate all the updates that he gives me, and he'll feed me some news going on at some events. And anyway, he was sending me some information. I think it was about Bob Stocks, and I said, man, they dodged a bullet by it not being 8-ball, because if not, Joey would have been all over it. So
Oh yeah, I would have been there.
yeah,
I
and
actually
snap
considered.
called.
So here's the thing: I don't land until midnight at BWI on Friday night. So they're already going to do the players meeting, Calcutta, whatever. But I considered playing in that event. Just for old time's sake. Well, you don't realize, Mike, First Break Cafe there in Sterling was one of the host rooms for Planet Pool Tour. So if I go back 15 years to the time when I was playing a lot, I would always be in there playing against Brandon Schuff, Mike Davis, Ryan McCreesh, guys like that, Pookie. And so for me, it's kind of like nostalgic. And I was like, man, maybe I should play. But then I haven't hit a ball in so long. And I'm also going to
look
get
what happened with Derek.
He
didn't hit the ball in 2 weeks and went and snapped the motherfucker
well,
off.
2 weeks and 2 years are two different things. But I'm going to spend some time with my family up in Maryland. My brother's going to take me fishing on Sunday out on his boat. And then Sunday night, he said, get ready. We're going to go play some volleyball. So we'll see.
You can't get more red, Joe. So I don't know how much time you can be out in a boat.
I don't feel like I'm that red right now. Although the weather broke out here, we got 100-degree days now or 95-degree days. So anytime you step outside, you're getting the sun out here, which is great for vitamin D. Feeling a little better, get my vitamin D up. But, what are you going to do? What are you doing this weekend?
Tomorrow morning early, I'm driving out to Hand Shoes. I'll be over there for a couple of days. I ended up rescheduling from earlier in this week, if there's not any weather, because he just texted me there was some bad weather. So, but if everything stays the course, then I'll be doing that, and then come back probably late Saturday night. And then spend some time with the girls on Sunday. So, looking forward to that. But it'll be a good weekend for sure. Watching pool, I'd imagine. So.
Yeah, follow all the action on Windows Open. It's funny because you tell me when you're at Hand Shoes, you can't do a show, you can't do this, the internet's bad, blah, 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 but you're all over Windows Open posting updates.
It's not true. It's not true at all. I can't post videos on Facebook. I don't get strong enough connection to do any live videos from there. So it's just, we're in the middle of nowhere, which is good because then I stay focused. And it was a funny story. I think I went over there one time during I think it might have been the World Cup of Pool. And then when I was leaving, like after that trip, James was like, hey, listen, anytime there's a big event going on, just you're good. You don't got to be over here. And I said, why? He said, well, you were just watching YouTube the whole time. And I said, well, yeah, but so I was just following along, man. Yeah.
Feelings.
And over there, you got to be careful because
bro.
you got lathes going on, and you're not paying attention. You can lose a finger. So
I know the feeling. People don't realize it, but when you and I room together out in Vegas, it's like I would say that 60% of my sentences, my questions to you go unanswered. And when I look over at you, you're like in your phone.
Sure. Joey's getting real salty again about it, by the way.
So, All right, y'all. Well, look, we're going to, Mike, we got to get a couple questions of the day in for our Patreon folks. Guys, if you want to, check us out, patreon.com/dogging it. Thanks for that, Nate. And we'll catch up with you guys soon.